Have you ever wondered why some days feel like you're climbing a mountain with no end in sight? Why progress feels just out of reach, no matter how much effort you put in? The truth is, it's often not the big obstacles that hold us back. It's the small, silent habits we allow to grow, unchecked, every single day. Today, we're going to shine a light on 7 of these hidden habits. Habits that creep into your routine and quietly sabotage your momentum, your confidence, and your ability to live the life you deserve. And here's the empowering part. You have the power to battle them every day. These habits don't care how old you are or where you're starting from. They can affect anyone, whether you're just beginning your journey or well on your way. But here's the best part. Self-improvement is for everyone too. Today is your chance to fight back and reclaim your day. Let's dive in and discover the 7 habits you must battle every day to step into your best self. Life offers us countless opportunities to grow, improve, and achieve the goals we set for ourselves. However, there are silent adversaries that we face every day, often without even realizing it. These are the habits that quietly undermine our progress, drain our energy, and keep us from becoming the best version of ourselves. Among these, there are 3 that are particularly insidious: overthinking, self-doubt, and procrastination. These habits may seem harmless at first glance, but if left unchecked, they can become powerful barriers to success. Let us explore how to recognize and battle them with purpose and determination. Habit 1, overthinking. Overthinking is like a maze without an exit. It traps you in endless loops of analyzing, second-guessing, and replaying scenarios in your mind. It often disguises itself as being thorough or cautious, but in reality, it stifles progress and creates unnecessary stress. Overthinking convinces you that the answer lies in more thinking, but this is far from the truth. Imagine standing at a crossroads with multiple paths to choose from. Instead of choosing one and moving forward, you spend hours considering every possible outcome, weighing every pro and con, and fearing every potential mistake. By the time you decide, the opportunities at the end of the path may no longer be available. This is the danger of overthinking. It delays action and keeps you stuck in place. To combat overthinking, focus on clarity and simplicity. One powerful strategy is to ask yourself, will this matter a year from now? This question puts things into perspective and often reveals that many of the worries consuming your thoughts are insignificant in the grand scheme of things. It helps you separate what is truly important from what is simply noise. Another effective technique is setting a time limit for decision-making. Treat your decisions like tasks with deadlines. For example, give yourself 5 minutes to think through an issue, and when the time is up, make a choice and move forward. This prevents you from getting lost in endless deliberation and builds the habit of taking decisive action. Remember, clarity doesn't come from thinking more. It comes from acting boldly and learning as you go. Habit 2, self-doubt. Self-doubt is a quiet, persistent voice that tells you you're not good enough. It convinces you that you're not ready for the opportunities in front of you and that you don't have what it takes to succeed. It feeds on fear and uncertainty, creating a cycle where you hesitate, miss chances, and feel even less confident as a result. Self-doubt often stems from an exaggerated focus on what you lack rather than what you have. It magnifies your weaknesses while minimizing your strengths. For example, you may find yourself hesitating to take on a new challenge because you feel you don't meet every requirement or because you fear failing. But here's the truth. No one ever starts perfectly prepared. Growth comes through action, not from waiting until you feel completely ready. To battle self-doubt, you need to build a foundation of confidence. One simple yet powerful strategy is creating a confidence anchor. This can be a list of your achievements, big or small, that you can refer to whenever doubt creeps in. Take a moment each day to write down 3 wins. Anything that shows you're moving forward, learning, or growing. These wins don't have to be monumental. They just have to be yours. Over time, this practice reinforces your belief in your ability to succeed. Another effective strategy is to use affirmations or mantras. Words have power, and repeating positive, empowering statements can help you reshape your mindset. Phrases like, "I am capable," or "I am constantly growing and improving," can serve as shields against the negative voice of self-doubt. Whenever doubt arises, repeat your mantra to remind yourself of your potential. Ultimately, self-doubt cannot survive in the face of action. Each step you take, no matter how small, is evidence that you are capable. Confidence isn't the absence of doubt. It's the courage to move forward despite it. Habit 3, procrastination. Procrastination is the habit of postponing what needs to be done, often with the illusion that you're waiting for the perfect time. It's a seductive trap because it disguises itself as harmless. You tell yourself, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'll do it when I feel more motivated." But tomorrow turns into the next day, and the perfect moment never arrives. Procrastination is rooted in fear of failure, fear of discomfort, or even fear of success. It convinces you that avoiding a task is easier than facing it, even though avoidance often creates more stress and guilt in the long run. For example, a small task left undone can grow into a mountain in your mind, making it feel even more overwhelming. To battle procrastination, you must create momentum. One powerful method is the 2-minute rule. If a task can be started or completed in 2 minutes or less, do it immediately. This could be something as simple as replying to an email, tidying your desk, or writing the first sentence of a report. These small actions break the cycle of delay and help you build a sense of accomplishment. For larger tasks, the key is to break them down into smaller, manageable steps. Instead of focusing on the enormity of the project, focus on the first step, something so small that it feels almost effortless. For example, if you need to write a report, start by jotting down a rough outline. If you need to clean your house, begin with one drawer or one corner of a room. These micro steps reduce the mental resistance to starting, and once you start, it's easier to keep going. It's also important to let go of the idea that conditions need to be perfect before you can begin. Progress is built through action, not ideal circumstances. Remind yourself that every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory over procrastination. The perfect time to start is now. Habit 4, people-pleasing. People-pleasing is a habit rooted in the desire for approval and the fear of conflict. It compels you to say yes when your heart is screaming no. It drives you to overextend yourself, often at the cost of your own well-being, simply to avoid disappointing others. While kindness and generosity are virtues, people-pleasing often turns these into burdens, leaving you drained and disconnected from your true priorities. Imagine carrying a heavy bag that doesn't belong to you, simply because someone asked you to hold it. Over time, the weight of that bag exhausts you, yet you continue to carry it, believing that putting it down would upset the person who gave it to you. This is what people-pleasing does. It burdens you with obligations that aren't truly yours to bear. To battle this habit, you must learn the art of setting boundaries. Boundaries are not walls that shut people out. They are gates that protect your time, energy, and focus. Begin with simple, respectful scripts. For instance, when asked to take on something that doesn't align with your priorities, respond with clarity and gratitude. "Thank you for thinking of me, but I can't commit to that right now." This approach acknowledges the other person's request while affirming your own limits. It's also important to reframe your perspective on saying no. Saying no doesn't mean you're selfish or unkind. It means you value your own well-being. Every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you create space for what truly matters. Remember, the most meaningful relationships are built on mutual respect, not on your willingness to sacrifice your needs for others. Habit 5. Negative self-talk. Negative self-talk is the inner critic that magnifies your flaws, dismisses your strengths, and keeps you from recognizing your worth. It whispers that you're not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable enough, creating a cycle of self-doubt and low self-esteem. This habit is insidious because it shapes your perception of yourself and your potential. Imagine planting a garden, but every time a flower begins to bloom, you step on it, telling yourself it isn't beautiful enough. Over time, the garden becomes barren, not because it lacked potential, but because it was never nurtured. Negative self-talk does the same to your confidence and aspirations. To battle this habit, you must challenge the voice of the critic with the voice of compassion. Start by reframing negative thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking, "I'm so bad at this," replace it with, "I'm learning and improving every day." This shift doesn't ignore the need for growth. It acknowledges it while focusing on your potential instead of your perceived shortcomings. Practicing self-compassion is another powerful strategy. Treat yourself as you would treat a dear friend. If a friend made a mistake, you wouldn't berate them. You'd encourage them to learn and move forward. Offer yourself the same kindness. Remind yourself that mistakes are not failures. They are stepping stones on the path to improvement. Finally, take a moment each day to celebrate your wins, no matter how small. These moments of acknowledgement remind you of your progress and counteract the negativity of self-criticism. Remember, the way you speak to yourself matters. It shapes the way you see the world and your place within it. Habit 6. Comparing yourself to others. Comparison is a thief. It steals your joy, undermines your confidence, and distracts you from your own journey. In a world that constantly showcases curated highlights of others' lives, it's easy to fall into the trap of measuring your progress against someone else's success. But comparison is not only unproductive, it's deeply unfair to yourself. Imagine running a race where every competitor is on a different track, with different starting points and different obstacles. Would it make sense to compare your performance to theirs? Of course not. Each track is unique, just as each person's journey is unique. To battle the habit of comparison, start by redirecting your focus inward. Instead of asking, "How do I measure up to others?" ask, "How am I progressing toward my own goals?" Set personal benchmarks that reflect your growth and celebrate your achievements, no matter how small. Progress is not about being better than someone else. It's about being better than you were yesterday. Another powerful strategy is limiting exposure to comparison triggers. Social media, for instance, often presents a distorted view of reality, highlighting only the successes and joys of others while hiding their struggles. If scrolling through your feed leaves you feeling inadequate, step away. Use that time to invest in yourself. Pursue a hobby, work on a goal, or simply reflect on your own journey. Finally, remind yourself, their journey isn't my destination. Life is not a competition, and your value is not determined by how you compare to others. Focus on your path, your growth, and your unique potential. Habit 7. Perfectionism. Perfectionism is the relentless pursuit of an unattainable ideal. It convinces you that anything less than flawless isn't worth doing, creating a fear of failure that can paralyze you. Perfectionism doesn't just delay progress, it often prevents it entirely. As you wait for the perfect time, the perfect conditions, or the perfect result. Imagine trying to paint a masterpiece, but never starting, because you're afraid the first stroke won't be perfect. In the end, the canvas remains blank, not because you lacked talent, but because you let fear dictate your actions. This is the cost of perfectionism. To battle this habit, embrace the mantra, done is better than perfect. Progress happens through action, not through waiting for ideal conditions. Taking the first step, no matter how small or imperfect, moves you closer to your goals. Redefine your concept of success. Instead of striving for flawlessness, strive for growth. Celebrate effort and improvement, even if the results are messy or incomplete. Remember, mistakes are not the enemy, they are teachers that guide you toward mastery. It's also important to let go of the fear of judgment. Perfectionism often stems from a concern about how others will perceive your work or your choices. But the truth is, the people who matter most value authenticity and effort over perfection. Finally, remind yourself that progress, not perfection, is the key to success. Each imperfect step you take brings you closer to your goals and builds the confidence to take the next one. These 7 habits may quietly appear in your daily life, but they don't have to. These 7 habits may quietly appear in your daily life, but they don't have to define your path. Each day brings a new opportunity to confront these challenges with courage and purpose. Progress doesn't require perfection. It requires action, one small step at a time. Remember, the power to change lies within you. Every decision, every moment of self-awareness, and every act of persistence moves you closer to the life you envision. Take charge today. Embrace your growth, fight these habits, and create the future you deserve.